Hey, what's up guys? Hope you're having a great day. I just realized I had an incredibly horrible quality video for you guys yesterday. I didn't have any game sound, did not have, I used the wrong, unintentionally used the wrong um, microphone. I was using the microphone from the webcam instead of the microphone from my Astros, which is the microphone for my Astros is what I normally use, and so this is the second time doing this commentary. Actually, I screwed up and used the wrong recording device for the audio. So I hope this works. I hope this, you guys enjoy this one. I do put a lot of effort into these videos. I think it's great. It's something that I love to do, and I'm every time I see a comment, every time I get a like rating, it's just the best feeling. So I really appreciate it, guys. So the main topic of this video is something I really want to get off my chest here, because there's so many tips to give in Destiny, but I just really want to hammer home the ones that are, in my opinion, more important, and something that you can relate to and it's not too difficult to understand and whatnot, and also some entertaining gameplay, hopefully. So the main tip that I have for you is that I want you to think about which weapon you're going to use heavy ammo wise in the heavy weapon category. Either the rocket launcher or the light machine gun. Now, in my opinion, I use the rocket launcher pretty much exclusively in team-based objective type game types. For example, Control is one that I definitely will use the rocket launcher in, because it's so based off of the game type itself. Is like there's a lot of people that are going to be on one certain area of the map, and so you can take out a lot of people with one rocket. For example, you'll often have a guy or like 4 guys on a flag, right? And you'll be losing the flag, and then if you have a rocket launcher, you can all boost up, like double jump is what I have on my hunter. I have a basically double jump and better directional control while I'm in the air, and I'll use that and shoot that rocket down. And so I also wanted to mention, when you shoot the rocket, I highly recommend that you do boost up in the air and you are shooting at people that are hopefully still on the ground. Sometimes people will try to evade your rocket by either teleporting or jumping up in the air themselves, and sometimes they will evade your rocket. There's kind of nothing you can do about that. It just takes practice, or maybe you can hit them while they're trying to evade you. But for example, when people are capturing the flag, like I'll do like a double jump, and then I'll just shoot the rocket toward the ground, and that's really the most effective way to actually get a kill. Otherwise, if you shoot the rocket launcher like an auto rifle, like directly parallel to the ground, well, you're not really going to be that effective, because that rocket could go right past them, and the rocket really is only going to hit one person anyway if you shoot it parallel to the ground, like as you would an auto rifle, essentially. So anyway, that's just my take on the rocket launcher. So because when you pick up heavy ammo, you really only get about 2 shots in your rockets. So 2 rockets versus how much ammo you get for the heavy light machine gun. I mean, there's a huge gap. You can get way more kills in, say, a deathmatch oriented game type when you use a light machine gun versus using a rocket launcher. Because in a rocket launcher, and say if I use a rocket launcher in free-for-all, I'd probably get at most like 2 kills at most. That's a good session of having the rockets. But if I use a light machine gun, well, I can get like, who knows, 4 to 6 kills probably if I can stay alive and hit my shots. Then absolutely that can happen. So that's just something to take note of, is the difference between the rocket launcher and the light machine gun is kind of a situational difference. It depends on whether you're playing a deathmatch oriented game type, where it's just the number of kills determines the victor, versus an objective game type where you need to, for example, in this game, control the flags for a certain amount of time in order to to win the game. So again, to recap, the rocket launcher is what I would prefer in an objective type mode, and the light machine gun is what I prefer in a more deathmatch oriented mode, because simply it's just thinking about the possibility of the number of kills that you can get. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple thing, but I never really thought of it, because when I unlocked the rocket launcher, I was like, you know, I had already had light machine guns for the past, I don't know how many levels, but when I unlocked the rocket launcher, I was like, oh my god, that's so badass, I gotta use that. I'm gonna be so good, and blah blah blah, and the game's gonna be so easy for me now, because I got a rocket launcher. But you know, it definitely is a fun weapon to use, don't get me wrong, it's a hell of a good time. But you know, it is not always what you want to use. It's just that's a little my 2 cents on the whole thing. So I hope that helped you. I really do. I hope you now think about which weapon you should use, and you know, use the right one for the right situation. I really do. I wanted to talk about actually the number of maps that are in this game and the kind of repetitive nature, because what you're seeing right now is the same map that I just posted, but it's not the same game. It's actually, I think, the game right after. So we replayed this map again, and so there are a lot of maps that you'll play over and over again. And sorry, I didn't mean to say there are a lot of maps, because there really aren't that many maps in the game. I think for free-for-all, you're even more limited in the number of maps. I don't know exactly how many there are, but you know, it's certainly not like Call of Duty, where Call of Duty will roll out a new game and they'll have 16 new maps every single game that they introduce. I think that's kind of like the standard for Call of Duty, at least, is that they'll roll out 16 new games when they come out with a new game, or 16 new maps when they come out with a new game. And you know, that's cool and all. I'm not saying quantity is great, is something more important than quality, because it's certainly not. I think if you look at the quality of the maps in this game, you're gonna realize that the quality is pretty high. You know, they got things right when they made the maps, and you know, when they made the game as well. It's a pretty the maps are pretty well balanced. They're not all symmetrical, but it doesn't really matter. They just fit well. They're just well made, and you enjoy playing them, or I do at least. I think they're a lot of fun to play for the most part. You know, there's a couple of maps that I do not like. It's just the 2 large maps. There's one on the moon that you can only play in like Clash and Control. It's not a free-for-all map because it's so large. And then again, there's another large one that's not a free-for-all map on Mars, I believe. It's called Bastion, and those maps just aren't that great. I think they're just a little too large for the game, and just not all that fun in a 6 vs 6 or free-for-all. Well, you can't even play it in free-for-all, but in 6 vs 6 it's just not that much fun. I mean, they're okay, and I kind of understand why they made maps that aren't a little bit larger than the other ones. Just to get a feel for it, but you know, I guess just to have variety is why they made it. But I personally enjoy the smaller maps, such as this one, Shores of Time. It's a pretty small map, and it's I don't know, it's just neat. It just works well. It's pretty simple. And by the way, guys, I'm using my Hunter class, and a lot of the videos I've been posting have been on using the Blade Dancer, and instead of the Blade Dancer, I'm using the Gunslinger in this one, because I'm trying to level up the, what's it called, all his attributes and whatnot. So that's why I'm using the the Gunslinger instead of the Blade Dancer. Though the Blade Dancer is really, I sometimes miss some of his, I often miss some of his abilities. For example, the Blink Strike, which is just a ridiculous lunge melee, which with my equipment and my skills on there, it has a pretty small cooldown, so I can use that a lot, and it's super effective, because you know, you shoot somebody, and then you can just melee them, and then they're dead, essentially, and it's just super simple. But I really go off on in this last minute or so. Like, I just realized like how quick this free for all. It was a fairly quick one. Like I get a ton of kills in the last minute or two. So anyway, guys, the gameplay is about to wrap up. I hope the audio worked properly today. Sorry about yesterday's video. Yesterday's video was kind of a debacle, but I will see you guys in the next video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like rating and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Peace.